Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
How are you today?
Good. Day two.
Day 2.
Yay. You'd be proud of me. I made decisions.
Good. What
First,
did you decide to do?
Well, first I want to hear about your dentist appointment. Is everything okay?
Yeah. So I had to go to the dentist. I went to the dentist like a month ago, and 2 of my fillings just like one was sort of separating a little, I guess, and the other one had pieces missing. So they were like, we're just going to, you need to come back. We'll take care of that. So that's what I did yesterday.
So you had
And
them replaced.
well, I had them repaired.
Oh.
They were just had to be repaired. So I didn't think about it though. I didn't remember that they would give me injections like Novocaine or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. I was just like, oh, they're just gonna like grind it down and do whatever.
Yeah, without numbing you.
So
Maybe not.
so they put in, I've never met this dentist before. When I went in, he was on vacation, so I saw another dentist in the office, but this dentist was in my husband's graduating high school class. They never knew each other at the time, though.
Oh.
That was in Arizona. They met each other as my husband just picked a dentist here in Connecticut.
Oh, weird.
And they got to talking and realized they were in the exact same graduating class. But the graduating class was like 600 kids. So they never met each other. Anyway, so I've never met him either at this point. So they like his person comes and puts like numbing stuff on Q-tips and puts it in my mouth. So I was like this, like, so he comes in and he's talking to me. I'm like, hey, doctor, how's it going? And he starts asking me about like my husband and all this stuff. Anyway, so then he does the injections on both sides because it's an upper on both sides that had to be repaired. And I go numb from my bottom lip up to about here, all the way across my face, all the way across. And so then, like, as it starts to kick in, I can feel that I can still smile with my lower lip, but everything here just feels like huge and frozen. And so then I started laughing because it felt so ridiculous, but then I could tell like none of this was moving, which was even funnier. And then I was laughing harder. And then like the hygienist or his assistant was there, like laughing, and he was laughing, and we're just all laughing. And like, he needs to get in and get to work, and I can't stop laughing. So anyway, I calmed down. He goes in and gets to work. I was perfectly numbed. I felt nothing. It was wonderful. Right. And I was like, oh no, I have a Zoom call tonight at 7. Am I going to be okay? And he's like, yeah, it's just it'll just last for a couple hours and you'll be fine. So I was like, okay, good. He's like, do you need a doctor's note? And I'm like, no, it's fine. Whatever, So I come home and I can hear both of my children are in the kitchen as I'm walking in. I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. So I walk in and I'm like, hey, hey kids, whatever. And they're like, what's wrong with your face? Like, I'm coming back from the dentist, I had Novocaine, but immediately I start laughing, which is here and up reacting and here and down reacting and none of this moving. And the kids are like, what's wrong with you? Because I looked like the Joker. I looked like the
that's
Joker.
Funny. You totally should have had your Zoom call. That would have been hilarious. We could have screenshotted that.
I had to cancel because it just was not working. It was so bizarre. And then like trying to eat dinner, like I started getting sensation back before the paralysis ended. I was like, oh, I can feel it. I'll go ahead and make some dinner. So I had I pan fried some mushrooms and chopped up some sausage just in rounds and mixed some spaghetti sauce. And I was eating that, and which was like, And then I was trying to drink out of a can of soda, which which was fine. I could get it in okay. But when I tried to like, you know,
Close your
finish, like
lips.
close
Yeah.
my mouth and swallow, it would just go.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
So that didn't work.
it didn't occur to you to get a straw.
Well, then I got a straw. Then I got a straw.
I mean, beforehand, it didn't occur to you.
I was like, I have, you just lower your mouth, you close your mouth, it's fine. But I wasn't getting like the proper seal. So it's just like, oh my gosh. So yeah, so I canceled. So sorry to my patrons. I had to cancel the Zoom because it just was
Ridiculous.
I couldn't say peas. I couldn't say, like it just was, it was so bizarre. Yeah. And it took, so for the record, I got injected at 3:00 and it was 9:30 before I had control of my upper lip again.
Well, your dentist's assertion of a couple of hours, clearly in
Yeah.
this world, a couple does not mean 2 like it does for the rest of us.
Yeah, apparently not. Apparently not. Well, my daughter looked it up as we were laughing hysterically last night, and she said the numbing is what only lasts a couple of hours, but the paralysis can last 5 to 6 hours. So that's when I was like, well, I'm just canceling because this is
Right.
I still don't have control of anything. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my evening.
I knitted.
Awesome. And you made decisions. I want to hear what your decision was.
Okay. I decided that I am doing the habitation throw with
Okay.
my India Untangled box, and I knitted the entire 20-gram skein while I watched TV.
Awesome. So did you do 2 squares or 1 big one? Because didn't you say that it was the habitate? Wait.
Yeah, the habitation throw is knitted corner to corner.
Oh, okay.
Diagonally. And normally, well, the pattern is written for 10-gram minis, but I'm doing 20-gram minis, so my Afghan is just going to be larger.
Right.
So
I don't know. I was thinking you said habitation, but I was thinking of Amba's squares. Right. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yay.
So this was yesterday's day 1 color.
Mm-hmm.
So go back and watch that, people, if you haven't. But here I have a dilemma. I have 2 dilemmas. Okay. This is going to be like one of those magic eye quizzes. Can you see the mistake? And should I leave it or should I not?
It's right there. What did you do?
You're pointing like I can see where you're pointing.
I know.
I dropped a stitch and didn't realize it, and then I tried to weave it back up, and it didn't work out very well to try to do that within the eyelet section. So you can see it. I
can see it because you're
dropped the label in my coffee.
I can see it because you're putting it up against your camera.
Right.
So if you're holding it back like that, it's far less noticeable.
And that's the wrong side. Well, and I'm debating because I'm not going to keep up if I have to rip that out, and I don't think I care that much because I'm not perfect. Yeah. Anyway, although I don't know if I can handle it because I know I'm not perfect, but it's something I can't unsee.
Yeah. So do you feel confident, or do you feel like it's worth trying a second time to drop it down and bring it back up?
No, I would just rip it back quite a way. Well, it would be quite a ways. Yeah. Because I would have to tear it back to like right there.
Yeah.
Over half. I don't know. I'll ask my daughter because it might be her thing. Or I might just be like, okay, this is a lesson learning to accept my flaws. Yeah. Yep. Okay, then if you look at, here's my other dilemma. If you look at the projects, some of the projects have colors and then they have like a contrasting skein where they'll do like one eyelet stripe right here and then carry on with the next color. But I don't know if I want to do that. And I don't know what the next day looks like.
Oh, so like just grab one off your shelf. Yeah, like just to have just one thing.
Yeah, and then there'd be this black stripe. But here's the thing. There's a contrasting, there is a larger skein within the box, but I haven't looked at it. Mm-hmm. But I think I might save that.
Yeah.
I probably won't do this because that seems really stark. But you'd have to have something neutral.
Yeah, you don't something know what's very coming. Neutral.
But then the other choices I had for neutral, my daughter's like, meh. So I don't.
Yeah.
So I might just go ahead. Stay tuned for
Yeah, I
tomorrow to
think
see what
I
I
just
decide
go
to do.
ahead. I mean, we
But this is a
got
really fun, easy thing to
yeah.
memorize. It's super easy. You just do your 10 rows and then do the eyelet row, which is really easy. The eyelet row is just like yarn over knit two together, yarn over knit two together,
Yeah.
turn. And then you have it's a really, I love an I-cord edge.
Oh, that is pretty. I do too. I think that is a great way to
Love an
give a
I-cord
nice
edge.
finished look to the edge. Yep.
Yeah. I'd much prefer that over just the garter edge.
Yeah,
It's
for
just more,
sure.
it's more solid. And if,
Yep.
you have the I-cord cast on, for if people haven't done that before, that's really, it just makes a
Awesome.
nice, I just like it. Anyway,
Yep.
kudos to Helen Stewart. Fun, relaxing knit while you're watching Netflix. Oh,
Excellent.
and I got to tell you, I'm rewatching. I know you didn't like it, but I'm rewatching 1883.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
I know you didn't like it, but I liked it. And the reason I'm rewatching it is because my memory is crap. But December 18th, they're coming out with 1923. So it's still the Button family story 40 years later. So I wanted to rewatch it for that reason.
Right.
In 1923, get this. I just saw the trailer for it. That's why I'm all excited about it. It has Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren. How can you
really?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Well, see, and I'm not against like the Yellowstone universe. I watched all of Yellowstone and I will say I don't think it's a good show.
I did not.
But it is an addictive show. It's a ridiculous addictive show.
See, I like the historical one. I like the backstory, the pioneer thing, and I think that was pretty historically accurate from what I understand. However, the Yellowstone set in the current day reminds me of the 2020 version of Dallas. JR,
that's exactly
and all that. It's just all soapy with a lot of violence.
Yes.
I watched like
and if you go into it like that, and this is the only show like that I watch, and I feel ridiculous doing it, and like I just know it's a ridiculous show. It's ridiculous, and I can't stop watching it.
So it's your trash TV guilty pleasure.
It is total trash TV. For me, there is an episode where I swear the son kills like 3 people, and you're just like, he just goes somewhere else and kills someone else, and then just goes. So maybe I'm conflating a few episodes that were back to back. I don't know, but this kid had a series of murders that was just, or like people exploding in meth houses, and he was there for it. Like it's just like, really, I don't know, like it's total. And then I heard that it's written by like one guy alone. And I'm like, this makes so much sense. It's
there's no checks and balances here.
There's no checks and balances on this guy's imagination at all.
Well,
I was like, yeah, this makes a lot more sense to me now.
If it's Taylor Sheridan, I mean, he directed and produced, I don't know if he wrote it, the screenplay, but he did 1883 and 1920.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's the same guy or not.
It's the same guy.
Did he write it, or is he just the director and producer? Or did he write it?
I believe he's the writer. And the whole thing with 1883 also fits with this concept of just one dude sitting in a closet somewhere writing his thing. Because the main character of 1883, the daughter, does not ring true to me at all. Okay. I think she's an absolutely ridiculous teenager. And the fact that everyone in her life is just like, she's just got this spirit that's different than all of us. No. Like none of that rings true to me. And the fact that all the focus is on the one person just makes it like, I just couldn't deal with it. I watched the whole thing and I will probably never watch it again. But that's what annoyed me about that, is just that main character and the whole like, she's gonna marry this guy and she's gonna be in love with this guy, and everyone's just like, she's just got this pioneer spirit, she's just not a normal teenage woman. No, like that's not how any of that would have been handled. Like, sorry, that's no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No. But Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren and the ridiculous Yellowstone universe, like I'm down for that. Like I know I'm gonna hate myself for watching it, but I'm going to watch it.
Okay, well, that apparently begins December 18th on the Paramount whatever thing
Thank
channel.
You for letting me know.
Yeah. Okay.
We can discuss when the time comes.
Okay. We should open our stuff.
Oh yeah. Am I going first or are you going first? Okay. Day 2. Look, I stamped it. Day 2. Oh, you can't see anything.
Oh, there. Number 2.
I had so much fun stamping dates on stickers. It was so basic and weird. Okay, so just a reminder, this was yesterday's. And this is today's.
Ooh.
So this is another ball of the Jamieson and Smith Ultra.
Wait, because I edited this out yesterday. It's not Jamieson and Smith.
Sorry. Jamieson's of Shetland. Please smack me.
Jamieson and Smith Shetland is not the same as Jamieson.
They aren't. They're different. This one is spun on Shetland.
Yeah. I mean, they're both Shetland, authentic Shetland sheep wool.
They're all Shetland wool. They're all the wool originates from Shetland.
Different company.
Different company. I might have my kneecap broken when I go back to Shetland for this.
But
so this is Azure, which picks up on the blue that's in the opal from yesterday.
Okay, that's also the Ultra. Very nice.
Yep. And this is like, it's slightly heathered, I would say. Yeah. Like it has sort of darker and lighter areas. It's not a solid light blue.
Okay. It's lovely.
So these two are for the project, and we will see the pattern and a little gift tomorrow.
Ooh, I'm excited to see that.
So,
nice. And I did put the links down below if people want to go check out the other colors of Jamieson's Ultra. They can do it.
Yep, nice. Yep. I like this yarn. I've used it quite a bit for like lace classes when they say like, bring your own lace yarn or whatever. Right. I go pick up a ball of the Ultra. I quite like it.
Cool.
So that's mine. So what's yours, Jana?
My day 2 is from Murky Depths, and they are from New York.
I quite like her eye for color.
The big
We had an interview with her from last year.
We did. And I'll link that down below. Unfortunately, Debbie wasn't able to join us this year. She had some conflicts, but I'll link her interview from last year down below in the video description if you're interested to see the woman behind the yarn with that. But okay. So, that was unexpected.
That's pretty.
Murky Depths. So
is that a yellow or a cream or
it's a yellowy? Yeah, nice. It's showing up pretty true. It might be a little, but it's a little. Yeah. Okay. So this is her. Let's see what this says. I'm trying to see the actual like yarn information. Maybe it's on the inside of the label. Yes. Okay. Inside of the label. Deep sock, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 80 yards, 20 grams. This is the colorway is called Central Park, NYC.
Awesome. Beautiful.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe Murky Depths is based in upstate New York. Also in the city, but mainly she does her dyeing in upstate New York.
Right. But she has a residence in the city and family in the city and whatever. So she's kind of representing both, rural and urban New York.
Yeah. So we went from Rhode Island to New York City.
Yes. So check
where we go next.
Where do we go next? You have to tune back in tomorrow to see.
We'll have to see.
And you'll have to come back and see if I fixed that and got through knitting this much, or it kind of depends on the rest of my day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my haircut.
You know what's going to happen, Jana, is you're going to end up doing what I did last year and just knitting them all as you go, fast as you can.
But it's a good pattern for that.
It is. It's a perfect pattern for that. Yeah.
And I binged like 3 episodes. I sat at the kitchen table and did nothing but knit and watch 1883 for like 3 hours yesterday.
Nice.
Because everybody was gone. Yay. Yay for knitting time, right?
Quiet house, man. So nice.
Well, I say that, but I tell you what, it makes me think, when both my kids are off to college, and I mean,
We are not talking about that. Nope.
I
We're
know.
not going that far with this.
I know. And I realize my mom's across the driveway, but she's not in my physical four walls. And so,
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
I'll just have to find a show that my husband and I can agree on so we can watch together.
We normally, Adam and I normally have one show at a time. And it's like we run out of that one. And then it's like, well, now what? And within a month or two, another one will come out that's like, okay, we can both watch this together. So we just finished one, but now he's off for like 3 weeks to the Philippines. So we have time for another one. Universe, we need another show to watch together. Just putting that out there.
What's your genre that you can watch together?
Soccer shows.
Okay. So you just get on YouTube and watch like previously aired soccer matches from 10 years ago?
So Ted Lasso was so we've been married for 21 years.
Uh-huh.
Now we do not watch much TV together at all.
We don't either.
So I think the first one, well, we used to watch like Top Gear. That was one we could watch together. So it used to be car shows that were more than just car shows. Like Top Gear is also silly and travel and whatever. Celebrity interviews. So that one worked for us. And like Rick Steves travel shows, we could do those. Okay. So those were sort of early marriage day shows. And then when we lived in the Philippines, he was on opposite time zones as I was. So he worked on American schedule while we were on local time. So we just didn't watch TV together at all during that time. So, but coming back, took us a couple years to find some stuff. And so Ted Lasso, big hit for both of us. We love Ted Lasso.
Okay.
So, and we even went to Richmond, England last year while we were there to see like the corner that they use for filming. We went and like took selfies and ate in the pub and
okay.
We're like, Ted Lasso.
All right.
And then the one we just finished was called Welcome to Wrexham, which is about Ryan Reynolds and the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and Mythic Quest. And his name just escaped me. And they actually make fun of that in the show about how everyone knows Ryan Reynolds and not as many people know who he is. But they together bought Wrexham Football Club in Wrexham, Wales, with the goal of, it used to be in the Premier League and now it's in the lowest professional league that they have there. And their goal is to like build it back up to be a Premier League team. So this is like their first year of buying it and doing that. And yeah, it was delightful. We watched that. I mean, delightful. It was two dudes talking about football. But it was delightful.
Two knitters talking about shows.
Exactly. Exactly. So
this has been a heavy.
It was really nice though, because it wasn't just about them. It was about like the community members who really loved the club and remembered when it was great. And, they did a good job of it. Yeah. So Adam will be home in like 3 weeks. I need like Ted Lasso to come back on or something, like something else.
Or people could put suggestions down below in the description.
Yeah.
Or in the comment section. You know what I mean? But today's interview, since we don't have Debbie from Murky Dyeworks joining us this time, we're doing an interview with Lauren from A Girl in Her Wool. And I visited with her about her shop closing and what's coming up for her next. And that's also another box that I have that I'm deciding what to do with, knowing it's the last one. So anyway, stay tuned for that. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Hey, welcome back to the channel, Lauren. I'm here today with Lauren from A Girl in Her Wool.
Hey, happy to be here. Always fun chatting. We always have a fun time.
We always have a lot to talk about,
Yeah,
even like
I
we
know.
just
Yep.
chatted for 20 minutes before we even pushed
I
record.
know.
That's fun. But as you know, I have knitted with a lot of Lauren's yarn in the past, and she's done, some custom skeins for events that I've done. And like
Mhm.
this is mostly out of yours. There, yeah. So if you want to talk a little bit about the inspiration that you had for the kits this year, that would be great.
Yeah, definitely. So last year's kit, so the 2021 kits were a little bit brighter. I did kind of like a beach sunsetty feel, but there were some brighter blues and sunset bright pinks and yellows in them. And so this year I figured I'd go the other direction and kind of hit more muted tones. And so I did a mood board this year. This was the first time that I did that. In the past, it was always kind of like, you know, total mystery, like it'll be a gradient, here's like general theme, but never really like posted anything like that before. So put together like a mood board with different fall themes and muted earth tones, and that was kind of like the theme I went with going into it. So it was a different experience this year because I was really trying to stay on those photos versus kind of just like in the past I've kind of just been like flowy about it. But so that was like a fun challenge. And yeah, so overall, once I was done and like laid them all out, you really get like a good fall feel from it. There's a lot of those tones in there. There's like generally just like really kind of toned down colors, but it still hits kind of across the rainbow, which is pretty nice. So yeah,
Yeah,
that was it. It was really just I did a lot of brights this year, so let me kind of mute it down this year.
right, right.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to seeing it all.
Yeah.
I can't decide quite. Well, like I mentioned to you before, when you did
Right.
your pre-orders back during the summer, like I don't know what I was thinking, except I was like, I want it all, and it's my birthday. So I did. I ordered. You mentioned this is the first time you've had 30-gram skeins minis as an
Yeah.
option. So I
Yep.
did that because more is good when we're talking about yarn. And then I did the complimentary, the full skein as well. So now I'm like, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know. So I'm excited. It's a lot. It's a lot of yardage.
Yeah.
So I might have to wait and see what it all is before I decide.
Oh, and I should say, right. So like that's the inspiration for the gradient version. So some people did get like the random mystery minis. There was no theme for that. So if you're like, wait, what? If you're looking at your minis, that might be it.
Yeah, it depends on what you pre-ordered, what you picked, whether
Right.
it's the fade gradient or whether it's the mystery. Woohoo!
You're
So
right.
I
Yeah.
picked the fade gradient because I
Right.
love, love, love that. I can't get enough
Yeah.
of that. So I'm excited. So
Yeah.
if people, I will just a note, we're not going to get too much into this because you've already posted and done your announcement. And if people can hop over to your YouTube channel and watch that, which I'll link, but Lauren's closing her shop for personal reasons. And I'm happy for you that you've come to a decision that I know was difficult, but I'm happy for you
Mhm.
because as a creator, it does get to the point where you have to decide, okay, I have this other career that pays the bills, and then I do
Yeah.
this on the side. And when this other thing gets big enough, you have to, weigh that out. And I get it. I totally get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I do want to say from a personal note, it's been fantastic to work with you over the last several years,
I
and
know.
I will miss you.
I know. I know. I will still be following along, of course. And yeah, it was definitely not an easy decision. And I reached out to you beforehand because I was like, I have to like talk to her about it because it has been so nice to like build this, friendship over the past few
Yeah.
years. And
Yeah.
like for everyone watching this too, like all of your followers, like a girl in her wool wouldn't have been what it is without all of you. So, and
Oh.
you, Jana. So I certainly appreciate it. Like
Well, now
personally,
I'm gonna
I mean,
hoard the skeins I have. Like
I know.
you've done some custom work for me for events that I've had and retreats, and I'm gonna hoard the extras that I have.
I know. I know. It's funny because I really didn't have too much in stock when I announced this. And I was like, oh, if this becomes personal stash, like that's fine. And it's all gone. And I'm like, wait, I have no like yarn, like I have no a girl in her wool yarn. So it's kind of funny.
Well, I'm
So
not giving it back.
no, I know. And I'll be doing one more update so if people kind of missed out. So yeah, if this is the beginning of December, there'll be one more update still in the future. So
Yeah, and I
um
think you said that would be like the 10th? right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
That weekend. Yeah. So
Yeah. At
maybe I'll
any
forward some
particular
for myself.
time, should we be refreshing our screens?
It'll be my normal time, so 10 o'clock Eastern time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that day. And
I'd be like F5.
Right? I don't know how big or small the update will be. It's really going to be whatever inventory I have left.
Right.
So
Right.
we'll see.
Well, people can watch. That's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for whatever. I mean, I know it was a difficult decision, but it sounds like it was the right thing to do for you. And I mean, that's good. I'm happy for you for that. Because you always have to do what's best for you and your family and, you know, whatever chapter is next for you. So
yeah, I know. I got to the point where I felt like I wasn't living anymore, you know, and you think back, like, you know, what's your life gonna be like? And, you know, I want to live more. So I'm excited for it. And it was such a fun adventure.
Because people don't realize that you have an actual career, like you're a mathy.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you have an actual 40 or 50 hour a week job and a commute and a family and a home. And I mean, you have all these things. So you basically had 2 full-time jobs all the time.
Right.
That's exhausting.
Yeah. So I'm leaving on a high though. It's all good. And it was good to get out before I started to
hate it.
Yeah. Right. Like I said, when we were talking beforehand, you know, it definitely got like in the weeks kind of leading up to announcing, it was like, well, should I, you know, you kind of have those thoughts and it's good to leave at that point versus like, get me out of here now.
Yeah. So I think that's fantastic for you. And I'm happy that I mean, I'm just grateful that we have this partnership and our friendship will continue for certain. So however, I want to talk about, I think your color sense is fantastic. And the things that you've put together, like I've said this so many times, like, here's just an example. Like this is September's club. So you've got a lot of browns and fall kind of things here.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never thought to put like brown tones with purple, but it's fantastic. But you know, not being a like artistic person necessarily, I would have never considered that.
Right.
So you have done a lot of that, in my opinion, over the years that I've been in your sock club. And do things like that just occur to you, or?
I do use inspiration photos. So I think for that one in particular, it was kind of almost like probably a wedding in a barn kind of thing. So it had like that barn, so the browns from the barn, but then maybe it was like lighting, I can't remember exactly, but lighting or like cupcakes or something that had like pinks and purples on it,
or the flowers.
So that's like where it came from. Yeah. So I mean, picking the photos, I try to think seasonally and themes, right? So like it was kind of you know, I feel like barn wedding in the fall is like kind of like a popular thing, and probably looked for that. And then I just try to pick out colors that I think work well from there. And then usually I do the mystery skein first, let it dry, see what it looks like, and then pick the pop of color for the tonal.
Okay.
So I knew I didn't want to do like a darker brown or something. Like I knew it needed to be a color for that month. And I think, it's just the purple probably stood out and felt like it would be the best. I think for that one, you know, the pink, there were some pinks in there, but I felt like maybe that would blend in too much. Like I try to do something that matches, but won't like get lost in it. If people wanted to stripe or something like that, like I try to do something that, you know, it looks different and won't completely blend in. So I'm not very exact. I kind of just like, like
winging it.
I just kind of see what I think looks good and go for it, and sometimes cross my fingers too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So now, well, I know that you have a lot of things to wrap up in December, and you're still going to have one more club, one more club shipment. But then, like, I guess I'm curious, what do you have on your knitting queue? Like, have you thought to yourself, or are you kind of burned at the moment?
I'm a little burnt. So I have not knit actually in a long time.
Well, you've been working. So
yeah.
yeah.
The only knitting that I've really been doing is, though, really the like only fun thing my husband and I do is go to the movies. And honestly, we haven't even really been in a while because like we were doing the advents and everything.
Oh yeah.
So only knitting I've really done is I have a blanket that I'm working on for the mystery from my mystery yarn club from this year. I'm on February. So I'm that far behind. And actually, I don't know if we've talked about it, but the pattern, I kind of just like did it off my head, but it's like inspired by the striping you do on your socks. So I don't have it here, but I have photos, but I'm using white and then I have the 2 minis. So I also have like my September up here, but I'm using 2 20-gram minis and I start with the main color, stripe that with the white, and then they get like thinner or thicker the stripes. And then I go the opposite direction with the contrast color. So I work on that. It's just knitting back and forth. So I work on that at the movies. And I think even the last movie we went to, I think I worked on that for like half of it. I really haven't been knitting. So I think if we talked about like what's in my knitting queue, it would probably just be projects that I have on the needles already. I'm not like in that like, oh, I need to make this, I need to make that feeling right now. I think I'm just, like you said, burnt and
you need to rest.
Let it naturally. Yeah. I just like need it to naturally come back. I don't want to like force it, but I have a couple of sweaters. I have that blanket. I'm sure there are socks somewhere around.
You have a pile of whips that'll just be there when you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's all positive. Like I will be so excited to like think back on these years. Like what a wild ride. So
yeah. I think I'm happy for you. I think it's really cool that it's a process, like you and I were mentioning. It's, I'm in a season of change as well. My kids are kind of growing up and moving out and, by this time next year, I'll be an empty nester except for my mom. But, like my farm help will be moved out.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. My husband is very supportive and super helpful, but it's not the same as having 2 child labor.
Right.
So I need to cut back in that way too and focus on other, it's just a season of deciding what your priorities are going forward. So, I mean, it's a hard process to go through. And so I commend you for being happy with your decision. And that's difficult,
Yeah, it is.
So good for you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. Cool. Well, I look forward to following you on Instagram and seeing what's next. If you choose to post, and if not, then enjoy your girl and her wool yarn dyeing
retirement.
Yes.
Hey, I get to retire. That's so exciting.
Thanks for joining me, Lauren.
Yeah, thanks for having me.